Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another round of energy, frequency, and vibration. I have the amazing Dr. Barrie Sands back with us tonight, and I'm so excited to talk about sound healing for pets. And before I do this, we have a little technical difficulty. Let me see if I can reconnect our Facebook. 1 second, and then we will get rolling here. For some reason it got disconnected. Okay, so I think we're good to go now. It looks like it's reconnecting. Yes. Okay. So it's been a hot minute since we've gotten back together. So I'm excited to hear this new interest of yours. For everybody who is tuning in, we're going to talk about the power and the magic of sound healing and what that can look like, examples of sound healing. And you recently, within the last 2 or 3 months, started experimenting with singing bowls?
Yeah, yep. I was doing a sound bath, well, participating in the sound bath.
Okay.
And I met the woman who was in charge of it, and I asked, I was like, I would love to do this therapeutically with my patients and animals, because I really don't feel that there's been a place that is providing sound therapy or sound baths for animals. And I know how incredibly sensitive they are to sorts of frequencies. Yeah. And so she was like, sure, I have a teaching facility where I do certifications for sound therapy for people, but doesn't really matter. It's all, physiology is physiology.
Exactly.
So I was very excited about that. And her modalities of sound healing were focused on crystal bowls, vocal toning, and percussion.
Nice.
And things like, pink noise, and white noise, like things like wave pans, which sound like an ocean, which is incredibly soothing.
Yes.
I became very excited about doing that because I'm all about frequency medicine and energy healing, and realizing that sound is the ultimate frequency, or sound gives birth to light. It is the ancient universal tones that put everything into creation. And sound is also the creator of form and matter. And so when you really dive into the science of sound and how the frequencies of sounds can shift matter, which is your physiology, then it seems on that level, all types of healing is completely possible. And there's not much to do except just bathe in it.
Yes.
Which is even more beautiful, that you just experience the sounds and the frequencies. And one of the really important things to understand is everything is energy, frequency, and vibration, right? This is what our show is about.
Yes.
And the only difference between vibration and sound is that it's audible for us. So any vibration that is audible is considered sound, and any vibration that is not audible is considered vibration.
Interesting.
So that also kind of goes into the understanding that every species has a different audible range. But that doesn't mean that the body doesn't respond to different frequencies that you can't hear, because we know that we respond to all sorts of frequencies.
Yes.
That we don't hear, that are really super low and that are really super high. So it's been a very fascinating journey, and I'm so excited to start using it on my patients.
And for people who don't know what you do, can you just briefly tell about what you do during the day? Like when you say your patients, like tell people where you work. It's really cool.
Well, currently I work at the VCA Emergency Animal Hospital and Referral Center in San Diego. And we've just moved into a new facility after being in this old hospital for like 30 years. I've been there. We moved into a brand new facility. And
Yeah.
in this brand new facility, my hopes is that I'm going to slowly transition off of the ER and have a more integrated practice completely.
Mm-hmm.
And so in my integrated practice, I mean, I do a lot of things. I do Chinese medicine, acupuncture, light laser therapy, infrared therapy, which is the light.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think I could do a lot of sound therapy in the hospital, but I'm going to be offering that in other facilities as like an adjunct to that.
Yeah.
I mean, certain sound therapies you can, if it's not like a crystal bowl. I don't think they'll let me play a crystal bowl in the exam room. It would be also a very small space for very loud noise. And
Yes.
you know, but one of the things that you can do is music therapy. There's beautiful music therapy, and toning is and humming.
Yes.
Using your voice for healing the science behind that is incredibly fascinating.
It is fascinating. You know, it's interesting. This morning I was scrolling, either last night or this morning, I was scrolling on social media somewhere, and I came across a video that talked all about the power of the purr of cats and how their frequency that it resonates at, their vibration, this beautiful sound of purring, helps heal the body.
Yeah.
You know, and they sit on, when they sit on us, it's like they can contribute to healing us, you know.
Yeah.
But that's like a tiny example of what sound healing can
Yeah,
be.
well, that's a very important concept to understand, because if you think about what frequency do cats purr at, they purr at frequencies between 20 hertz and 140 hertz. And now hertz is just a cycle per second. That's the cycle of a waveform.
Yes.
How fast things are. That's how they measure that. And our physiology is built for healing within the frequencies of 10 hertz to 150 hertz. Is when we're exposed to that on certain levels, that's when we start to heal. In a lot of different ways. It helps control our cardiovascular output, the way our blood flows, the way our vessels dilate, when the vessels will dilate more and allow more blood to flow. It also allows the ability for the production of nitric oxide, which is huge in the physiology of sound healing, because the nitric oxide has at least 10 different effects on the body to create the vessels to dilate, and it also increases oxygen binding. It has effects on your lymphatics and the fluid dynamic and the way things flow, and your pain sensations and how you can relieve pain and inflammation. So there is so much benefit, and the purring in that frequency, will help to stimulate all of that in our bodies and also in the cat's body. So I mean, cats purr not for us, even though we think that's true. We'd like to believe that they purr for us, but they, that's a natural thing for them to do in times of just contentment, and also in times of stress. It's like purring. A cat that's sick that is purring is sort of like a person humming. When they don't, I don't know how many people hum when they don't feel good, but when you don't feel good, humming is a really good thing to do.
Interesting. I have not heard that before. That's fascinating, but it makes sense when you take it in the concept of sound healing. Everybody needs to just have a cat.
You need to have a cat, and you can hum to your cat. You can hum, they can purr, and you can have a little symphony going on.
I love that so much. So you want to talk about your singing bowl? I know you have one there. Just for people who haven't seen what a singing bowl is, it's a great example of sound therapy or sound
Oh,
healing.
yes. So, I mean, this is an example of a crystal bowl. This is one of my smaller ones, and every bowl has their own note. That's, you know, like an A or an F or a C or a D. This is a D bowl. And the way my bowl was set up, that I received 5 different bowls that matched my vocal toning frequency. So they were built specifically for me as I augment the toning with the playing of the bowls.
Interesting.
So, yeah, so it amplifies the tones and the vibrations.
Okay.
But in the playing of the bowls, it's really the harmonics that you're playing that create the sort of resonant healing within the system. So, I mean, I could play it. I don't know how. Hopefully, see what it sounds like. It's just a tone.
Yeah.
But
So here's a question for you. If you have multiple bowls playing at one time, how does that affect the healing process? Is it more of a synergistic effect with all the different tones at once? And is that better than just one particular tone?
yeah, because so I don't know. So before I answer that question, I don't know if you noticed if you can hear the sound that it got louder and softer and louder, like it sort of went like, so that is an important aspect of it. So whereby when the sound interfaces with your body, it's creating what's called these phase shift pulse frequencies that are actually helping to move your lymphatics, which is really interesting because technically your lymphatics don't move unless you're moving your body. But with the sound of the pulsing of the tones, the lymphatics will actually start to shift and move and flow better.
Wow.
As you're laying there, which is really great as an anti-inflammatory and a detoxifying situation.
Yes.
But to answer your questions, you know, when we talk about healing with sound, it's really about using a frequency to resonate with another frequency to align them and to heal. So say your liver has a certain frequency and you're having some disease in the liver and it needs a little help. Typically what you would want to do is play the frequency that is the healthy frequency for the liver that it naturally likes to resonate at. And then it will start to find that resonant frequency, and then it will start to heal because it knows where it feels best. Right. So that's sort of the concept of that. But we have thousands and thousands of different frequencies that are happening in our body all at the same time. Everything is vibrating at a different frequency, so it has a different tone. So what that is, it's more like a harmonic. And the reason why you have multiple bowls is because it creates this harmony of different sounds. Like in a symphony, when you're listening to a classical symphony with all of these different instruments, you know, you're not just playing the violin. You're playing, everybody's playing to create the song.
Yes.
And so when you hear the song, the body will align itself with the harmonics. It'll fall into place. And the healing that needs to happen will find its place in the symphony.
Sweet.
So it's really, you don't have to know specifically. You just have to, allow and just be in the music. And, when it comes to cats, there's every cat, I think, has their own special tone that they may like, but and you kind of just have to see what your cat particularly likes. But there are music that's made for cats that have a lot of, like, if you look at like YouTube music for cats or sound healing for cats, there's a lot of lower tones that are in there, and purring. They always put purring sounds into the mix because it seems like it resonates with cats as well. It's very soothing for them.
And I find that a lot of cats love music, like classical music, and even like meditation music. They just completely zone out. I mean, just like this, but it's so cool to watch them just totally relax, and they, have this total Zen look on their face, and you can tell they're so in the zone, you know. And it's so cool. They have an appreciation for that kind of vibration.
Yeah, and it truly is healing. We're not going to go into the deep science of this, but the more I learn, and I'm actually lecturing about this at the American Holistic Veterinary Medical Association conference this year. Yay. It's all about quantum healing and sound therapy and light therapy and frequency healing. And there is such a deep dive into all of the science around that. And it's something that has been around for millennium, is sound healing, from the ancient Greeks to Pythagoras, and to the Egyptians, and how they knew of that sound created, healing frequencies in the body. So it's not new. And but we forget. We don't really think about using sound as healing. We don't think about putting on some music when our animals are sick or when we're not feeling good.
Right. I mean, just as simple examples, like, think about, for you guys who are watching, think about how you feel when you're around certain types of music. So there's certain types or certain songs that really energize you and make you happy and raise your vibration. And then there's certain songs that just feel like it's nails on a chalkboard to you, and it totally turns off. You're totally irritated by it, and you just want to like shut it off real quick because it's not resonating with you. That's just a very basic example of how music can affect you emotionally, spiritually, and even physically, in some cases.
So everyone seems to know the song that makes them feel good. Right? They know the type of song, or there's like one song that they really love, and their whole body just feels really good. And when you're not feeling good, when you're not feeling good, purposely play that song. Create the healing inside of you with the intention around a certain healing event. Like to feel better, to heal. Because when you're interfaced with Jonathan Goldman, who's a brilliant, sound guy, he says, frequency plus intention equals healing. And so when we listen to the sounds and we interface with these frequencies, setting an intention around that is that much more powerful. So say your cat is sick and you're playing some music for them, and your intention is either that you want them to eat if they're not eating, I'd love for you to eat, or just healing, just to put your intention into their healing. You would be surprised what happens.
Yes, it's really fascinating. And they're such simple creatures. It's like they either respond or they don't. So whatever, it can be very obvious sometimes. They either stay in the room or they leave the room. It's like, no, I don't want to be in here. I don't like that. Or no, I like that. I want some more. It's really, animals are so pure. I mean, you can read them like a book sometimes. They're so easy. And
a few weeks ago, I went to, it was a full moon. It was beautiful. And so I took one of my bowls and I went to the beach with my dog, and I set up the bowl by the ocean, and, you know, with the sound of the ocean coming in and the rolling frequency of that, plus my bowl, and I was just playing and I was toning, and he loved it. Absolutely loved it. He just zoned out. And yeah, it was so healing.
Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. And what a cool, I mean, I love how you think out of the box. Like, how many people would think, let me just take my bowl to the beach? Not many people would probably think about doing that. But how cool that you can pull in just the sounds of nature and add your bowl to the whole mix, and, you know, create a whole new sensation with the combination of everything.
Yeah, it was really beautiful. I did notice, though, that you don't have too much time with the bowl at the beach, because with the moisture and the sand, it makes it sort of, it dulls the vibrations. So it wouldn't play as long. It wouldn't hold the tone for as long because it was getting all wet and sticky with sand.
Yeah.
So I don't think it would be a good idea for me to hold like a sound bath at the beach. It would be, right, you know, but for a moment, it was really nice.
Oh, that's cool though. I mean, I love how you think outside the box like that. So, what other examples can you think of for people, like, be creative and get out of their box basically and explore sound healing?
Well, I mean, for their animals, I would say try humming and singing to your pet, with an intention, you know, to create a moment. Usually, I mean, we could do it because we want them to be happy, but usually it's around healing, something that we want them to heal. So I would set an intention on what it is that you want to alter. And it may be that your animal is in pain, and you say, I want to relieve your pain, and just start to hum or sing with that intention, like a lullaby or something. And you'll, you know, I think we naturally do that anyway, but to do that with an intention and see what happens. There is a lot of music out there. There's a guy, his name is David Teie. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's David Teie. And he has some YouTube videos that for cats, for healing mechanisms, and there's a lot of purring, and there's cello sounds, and it's really meditative, and it's really nice just to listen for your own self. You know, it's very calming and soothing, and I think a lot of cats will enjoy that.
That's neat. Yeah, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. I mean, you can find so much on YouTube to just play, you know, free. You don't have to pay for a subscription somewhere or whatever. My friend Dr. Amaya Espindola from Spain actually wrote a few songs, like cat lullabies. And they're online. I think if you go to her website, felvetcare.com, I think, or just Google her Amaya Espindola cat lullabies, you can find her songs online, and you can sing them to your cats. I mean, that's why she created them. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, and I have met cats that just really love hard rock. They love heavy metal music, you know, so you have to sort of find the tones that your own cat likes, you know, and you'll see they'll come into the room, or they'll you know, leave the room. So they all have their own frequency that they like to be around, and just remember, just to give you some context, their sense of hearing is so much more sensitive than ours. So our auditory range for humans is about 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. You know, and some people it's like super high, and you can barely hear it at 20,000. But cats, their low tones are a little bit higher. They go from 45 hertz to 45,000
Wow.
hertz,
Okay.
which is really high. So they hear these frequencies. It's 45,000. It's either 45,000 or 67,000. Don't quote me on that, but I
Wait.
think it might be 60 something thousand. It's pretty high. And the
Okay.
reason why their frequencies are so high is because it's used for adaptation for hunting. So they hear all the little sounds like the little critters make.
Yes.
Like the mice and the voles and the prey who vibrate at these really high frequencies, they can hear them. So
yes. Exactly. It's fascinating to watch them because we're like, what are you listening for?
Right. What do you hear? What do you sense?
But you're so focused on something. What is it? Like they're looking at the spot in the grass and you see nothing.
Right. And they're probably hearing the whole thing happening.
Yeah. It's wild. What about dogs? Do you know how high they're? I mean, I've heard that they have really super.
Actually, cats are higher than dogs. I think dogs go to 45,000.
Okay.
And cats go to 67.
Wow. It's just the way their evolution and their design, right? I mean, they're just little.
Yeah. And like I think dolphins can go up to 110.
Wow.
Very, very high. And they use that for echolocation. To reverberate sound frequency.
Yes. And
to find things.
Yeah, there's sonar abilities, and it's fascinating when you really stop and think how powerful sound is.
Yeah.
So if we were to give people some homework, what is like one thing you would recommend people to do or to consider if they want to learn a little bit more or try?
Well, I would say a fun thing to do would be to try to figure out your animal's eigentone. So an eigentone is the resonant frequency harmonic within an individual person or animal.
Okay.
Your specific frequency, your specific harmonics. And how you're going to do that is you're going to play a bunch of music and see which one your cat likes best.
Oh, okay.
Which one they want. I mean, you'll know if they run away or they come or they experience, to find what song. Because we all know what song we like, which is our favorite sort of jam song that makes us feel perfect inside. Try to find for your animal, for your cat, and see, just as a fun experiment. That's what I would do, and play different. I have lots of instruments in my house. I have a piano. I have percussion. I have drums. I have bowls. I have little hand pans, and I have little shakers. I have rattles. I have lots of instruments. I don't know how much instruments people have in their homes, but there's things on. There's certainly YouTube or Spotify or any other music vehicle that you can find,
and just experiment.
See which really tap in to see what are the sounds that your animal likes to hear, and then you can start using that to augment the healing if they're not feeling good, and then to use that more intentionally. And singing and humming in tones that you make, which ones do they may like better?
Onto right. And do you feel like, or do you see like those tones can change depending on what state of being they're in? Like if they're if they're not sick, for example, but maybe they're just a little scared because of thunderstorms or, something like that, versus when they're sick and not feeling well physically, would that vibration or that sound change depending on their state of being?
I think it might, but I feel like they're a little bit more simple than us. I think that they like what they like. I don't know if it's like they don't need to hear a bunch of jazz to get riled up so they go out and hunt. I feel
right.
Oh, maybe they do. I guess you'll have to play with it.
Yeah.
But they kind of like what they like. They are pretty honest about what makes them feel good.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, this has been a fascinating conversation. We hope that you guys have learned a little bit and maybe sparked some questions on your own and some curiosity to go explore different sounds and ways to experiment with sound healing and different types of music and things like that. So you'll have to drop a comment below this and let us know what you've tried and how it worked out. And any feedback that you've gotten from your experiments. So definitely let us know and tag us on your post so we can see that, because it would be really cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So any closing thoughts before we wrap up?
You know, just embrace it. Embrace the sound. Embrace, and don't forget to hum and sing. Sing more. Sing more with intention. That's what I would say.
I love that. Yeah. And nobody has to hear you sing but your pets.
Right. And you can sing in front of your pets.
You don't even have to be able to sing. They love you anyway, right?
Right.
Hum if you can't sing. So that's awesome. Well, thank you so much. This has been fun. And you guys let us know what your thoughts are. And we will be back at some point with another really cool energy, frequency, and vibration topic to cover and how it affects our beloved pets. So thank you all for being here. Have a great rest of your evening, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah. Thank you.